Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How was your Christmas and your New Year? I feel like it felt so weird not having a camera in my hand over the last week because I was vlogging every single day of a Vlogmas. It did feel really weird that I wasn't editing anything or putting anything out, but it's also so nice to have a break. I've just been chilling, not doing much, relaxing and just taking it easy, not knowing what day it is. I do know today's Thursday. I think, yeah, today's Thursday. And I was just sitting here and I have been thinking like over the last month or so, like that we're coming into 2023 now, 2022 is ending, and what my goals are and things I want, I don't know, to take place in 2023. And I've just been thinking about that. Do you set goals? Do you do things like that? I don't know if you do, but it is something I didn't do last year, but it is something I did do the year before that. And I thought it might be quite nice to kind of like share it with you and to kind of share like any kind of goals or what I'm going to be doing this year for 2023. So last year we obviously just moved to Portugal in November, December, January. I mean, I didn't set any goals or do any vision boarding or anything like that. I just was a normal day, just carried on. And I don't only just make goals and like milestones or things, write things down at the end of each year. I do it all the time actually. It's something I write a lot and it's something I do a lot. But I feel like at the end of the year, it kind of feels more prominent because you're going into a new year. So you kind of can set more like, I don't know, goals for yourself in terms of like time frames, like by the end of the year or in 6 months. But you can do it throughout the year. But I do remember 2 years ago, so we moved here in 2021 to Portugal. And I remember doing a vision board with my husband in the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. No, I remember sitting and doing this vision board at the beginning of 2021. So it was January 2021 and Marlon and I sat with some magazines and we had like a big piece of paper and we were just talking about our goals and things we wanted. And I remember on our vision board it was travel, blue skies, health. They're the ones that stick out to me the most. And just a better lifestyle, like a better life, like more outdoorsy, being outside more, having more sunshine. And what's crazy is 9 months later, we decided to move to Portugal. Like nothing to do with our vision board, as in like, not because, like it was just weird. It was like 9 months later, we were sitting down having a chat and we were like, we want something more from life. I know, why don't we move to Portugal, a country that we love? Let's go and live there. 10 months later, we moved. Well, 11 months. Well, we were supposed to move in October, but we ended up moving in November. So 11 months later, we'd moved. And it feels so crazy that at the beginning of the year, like we didn't even think of our vision board. We had our vision board up in a room, in our spare room for about a month. And then it kept kind of like, it was in the way because it was big. So we kind of put it away and probably didn't look at it as much or think about it as much. We just had it there. And it wasn't until about when we moved to Portugal, we were like, oh my God, do you remember when we did our vision board and what was on it? I wish I'd taken a picture of it, I really do, but I didn't. And that's what I'm gonna do today. Well, not today, when I do my vision board for this year, for 2023, I'm gonna take a picture of it to remind myself, if in case that does happen where I lose it or I just put it away and forget about it. But anyway, kind of like I do feel like our vision kind of came to life, like having blue skies, like looking outside now, there's blue skies, living a more outdoorsy life, health. I do feel like our health has improved since moving, just being out more, exercising, eating better. And I do feel like we kind of manifested that, and yeah, that's where we are today. So as I said, in 2022, I didn't get a chance to do a vision board. We didn't even have like a dining table or like beds to sleep on. So my goal back then was just sorting out our home. But now I've started thinking about what it is that I want to, you know, manifest or have some goals for 2023. And for the first time in a really, really long time, I feel really excited about 2023. I feel so excited. I don't know why. I just feel very like I don't know what's out there. I feel excited. I think it's because maybe we're more settled, the kids are at school, I've got more time for myself, I can concentrate on myself a bit more. It feels a bit exciting. So I thought I will talk about some of the things I'm gonna do, maybe share some of the goals that I've got, and maybe inspire you maybe to think about what it is you want from 2023, or maybe to write it down. I've seen this thing, I'm going to put the website here, that you should do, that I'm going to do it for the first time. It's actually a website where you write yourself a letter, and you can send it to yourself. You can choose when you want to send it to yourself. You can give it a specific date. You can, so it's emailed to you, sorry. So you can email it to you by a specific date. You can email it to yourself in 6 months. You can email it to yourself in a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever you want. Sorry, I've just moved a bit to get more comfortable. But you can email it to yourself whenever it is, whatever date you like. And it's basically writing a letter to yourself about the kind of goals and where you plan to be during that time. So for myself, I'm gonna write myself a letter, and I'm going to email it to myself for the date next year, 2023. So what, the 29th of December 2023, I'm going to email it back to myself. And in that letter, I'm just going to put where it is I want to be, what I want to have achieved during that year of 2023. You know, what goals I wanted to hit, what I kind of wanted to manifest into my life, where I want to be, how I want to feel, that kind of thing. And then, you know, hopefully opening that after a year, you've kind of hit some of the goals that you've written down. I think it must be crazy to look back and have that. That's something new. I've never done that before, so I'm going to do that this year. Write myself a letter. The other thing I'm going to do is another vision board this year. So I'm going to do a vision board. I've already got myself some magazines, and on my vision board, you know, I know some of the things I already want to manifest or bring into my life for next year. Like, I know for a fact that I want a house. Marlon and I want us to be able to afford and to buy a house, our own house in Portugal. We have our own house, you know, in England, but we want one in Portugal. We want a family home here, and there's criteria to that family home that I want. So, you know, that's going on my vision board. I always, every day actually, practice gratitude. So I always, like, you know, I'm thankful for my health, my family, our safety, our happiness, that kind of thing. The 3 main things that I'm so grateful for, and I continuously kind of thank God for, is our health, our happiness, and our safety, because I feel like without our health, we're nothing. So that is something I like to work on. And health in terms of being healthy, so like going to the gym, walking more, that kind of thing, and also eating healthy. So for me, I'm not really, I love to snack. I love snacking. I love chocolate. I love crisps. I love treats. I think I eat quite well, but I don't know. I have a lot of probably worse days of eating than good days. I could do with eating more veg and more salad. But in June last year, this year, because I'm videoing this and it's still 2022. I started fasting, intermittent fasting. I started fasting, so I would stop eating at 7 o'clock and start eating at midday. And I'm done. I actually didn't think I could do that, and I did really, really well. I think I should save that for another video if you wanted to know more about that. But I did really well at it. But I've got to say, the last month I haven't really fasted. I haven't done it, so I'm looking forward to getting back into doing that. Also, I haven't been to the gym in the last month, so, you know, starting back in January, getting my mind straight. I think going to the gym not only helps, obviously, physically if you're wanting to look good, but I feel like for me it's more for my mind. I feel like it's a place I can go where I kind of switch off, especially if I'm in a gym class. I feel like it forces me to kind of switch off and get involved with what's going on. So that for me is what I think is major. Health is a major one. And waking up, you know, in England I used to find that waking up to grey skies and it being grey did affect me. I don't know if I had SAD, I don't know, but it did bother me being very grey. To have no motivation to do anything, can't be bothered, just stand at home, feeling cosy, eating things that made me feel comfort and that kind of thing. So it does feel nice that I'm in blue skies. So it encourages me to go outdoors more. So yeah, so without our health, we're nothing. So I try to work on my health. I try and give that the priority over everything, even though it didn't get much priority in December, which is really bad. And then yeah, happiness, you know, what means the world to me is to see my children happy and my family happy and that kind of thing. So continuing to live a kind of like a kind, good I feel like if you're doing good, like as in like got a pure mind and clean mind, like I try not to have negative thoughts or negative people around me. I like positive, so I'm trying to keep that up, because that I feel like feeds into your happiness and things like that, the people that you have around you. And it's definitely something I want for my kids as well, so their happiness means the world to me. So working on that, and safety as well, feeling safe. There's something definitely that I feel in Portugal, feeling safe, but just, you know, my surroundings, people around me, that kind of thing. I think they're just important things to me anyway. So they're the 3 main things I work on. And then I would say that, so for my vision board, like I said, I would put like I want a house. There's some of the things I will tell you that I do want to manifest or bring into my life is a home, continuing with health and happiness, continue healthy eating, you know, body, mind, that kind of thing is very important to me. So that's kind of continuing to stay on my vision board. Travel would be something on my vision board. I want to travel more with my family, so travel more to different countries. I'd love to go to Mauritius again. Jamaica. I'd love to go to, or my son would love to go to Japan. I'd love to make that happen. Japan looks amazing, but it's not on my top list of wanting to go places, but I would love to go there. Cuba, I'm going to put that on my vision board. Just want to do some more holidays somewhere. So yeah, that, travel, home. And then I feel like for myself, career-wise, I'd like to have more of a purpose, if you like. Like my children are at school now, and I feel like I've come to a point in my life where I can focus on me a bit more. And I've absolutely loved doing YouTube. I've absolutely loved it. And I kind of feel like it's taken up my time, like in a good way. I've really enjoyed editing, I've loved making videos, and I'd like to continue that. And I'd love to grow my channel, and I'd love to like see what kind of opportunities can arise from that, from doing like social media a bit more, content creation a little bit more. Like I'm quite creative, so maybe opening up my creative side a bit more, focusing more on that. Yeah, so they're kind of some of the things that are going to be on my vision board. So giving you a little insight into just a few things that will go on my vision board. There will be more going on my vision board, you know. I know when you write all these things down, or you have vision boards, or you know, write down your goals and stuff, there's a lot more to it. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna write down that I want a house in, you know, your specific area with this many bedrooms and that. I know you've got to work for it, you've got to have things behind it of how you're gonna get there. So for me, if I want to, for example, be successful on YouTube, then I have to put the work in. I have to create content, I have to create videos that people want to see, I have to up my editing skills, I have to invest in myself in that sense. Like, you know, it's not just going to happen, I'll have to put in the work, and I do understand that. So that is one of my goals. I also like to write down my goals as well. Like it's something I was doing regularly last year. This year, I keep saying last year, I was regularly writing down my goals and things I wanted, or places I wanted to be at in my life. But I feel a lot more focused at this point of my life. So another thing I do is I keep a little diary, or in this case, this is just like a little book, a little lined book. This is a new one actually, I bought it the other day. I keep it by the side of my bed, and I suppose you'd probably call it journaling. I write down a lot of how I'm feeling. If I feel like my mind is overloaded, lemon fly. So if I feel like my mind is overloaded, or I feel like I've got lots going on in my head, I like to write. I like to write a lot. I like to write lists. I like to write how I'm feeling. So you will find, if you ever come to my house, loads of little notebooks like this, because for me it's a way of getting things out of my head. So I use it to write down my thoughts and feelings, but I also use it to write down my goals, or to write down like if there's a specific something I'm working towards. Like for example, if it was like I wanted to hit a certain number of subscribers on YouTube or followers on Instagram, something to do with content creation, or to have learned a new skill with editing, I'll write it down, you know, just so that it's at the forefront. Not only, I don't know why, but I feel like because then it's at the forefront of my mind of what I'm working towards and the goal I want to get to, you know, and each time you hit that goal, it relates to another goal as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. They're the little things I do anyway, and I thought I would just share them on camera with you, and also say some of the things I want to manifest, or goals I'm setting myself for 2023. So when I sit back and watch this in a year's time, I can go, oh, I did it, look, I'm sitting in my new home. with my swimming pool outside, you know, that kind of thing. I think it's quite nice to look back on. So yes, I'm putting this out there and I'm putting it into the world, and why don't you do one too, and we can share them, share our goals. I'm going to sit down tonight and I'm actually going to do mine properly, because I haven't done it yet, and if I had done it, I don't know if I'd share it, I don't know, but I've shared quite a lot of what I would put on it, but I just feel like it's something good to have and something to look at every day, and I do think it works. And the reason I think it works is because of where I am today, like sitting here, like doing our vision board 2 years ago, and sitting in Portugal, just feels like it worked. And let me tell you as well, the reason I think it works as well is because I'd say probably about 6 years ago, Marlon and I were living in an area that wasn't our ideal area. It wasn't the place that we wanted to live in. It was lovely. We lived in a lovely home. We'd refurbished our house. It was absolutely lovely, but it wasn't our ideal area. We wanted to live somewhere a bit more diverse. We wanted to live in an area that to us was really nice and really lovely, and you know, but it was expensive in that area, and we was like, we don't know if we can afford it. And I remember Marlon, he took us, we all went out in the car and he put the kids' scooters in the car, and we stopped off at the park, and this park was in the area that we wanted to be in. And you know, kids were riding their scooter around, and Marlon was like, we're not thinking anything of it, we're walking around, we're like, oh, one day we're going to live around here, like this will be, you know, a park, blah blah, one day we'll live around here. And I think 2 years later, we bought the house that backed onto that park. Like the house that we bought backed onto that park, and it felt surreal, it felt weird, it felt so crazy that, hold on a minute, we was here about 2 years ago saying how we'd love to live in this area. We flipping live in this area now, we did it. We managed to do it, to buy a house in an area that was an expensive area, buy a house that we loved in an area that we loved, and there we were. But it wasn't enough because we moved again, so you know, but I just feel like it worked. I just feel like that's a crazy story. I mean, there's probably stories in your own life that are the same, where you have like things that you've said out loud that have come true. I do think it works, but anyway, it'll be interesting to see in a year's time when we come back to this video what worked and what didn't. So good luck if you're writing your goals down or your vision board and stuff like that. Travel's a big one for me as well, but anyway, I could go on forever, but I just wanted to share my thoughts for goal setting and sharing for 2023, and let's manifest some stuff. Let's live our best life. 2023 is going to be the best year. Let's go live it, love it, and just make it the best. That's my plan anyway. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed my video, short and sweet. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and we will catch up soon. Ciao for now.